Hey, it's Ty Screams, and I'm about to give you a recap of what happened on season 46, episode 10 of Survivor. After Tribal, Liz was upset because she was left out of the vote. She goes around asking why she wasn't included, and they try to explain it away, saying that the vote was changed 10 minutes before because of an idol threat. Q is off on his own, and Maria takes this opportunity to extend an olive branch to work together because she sees him as a number. It's the next morning, and Kenzie, Maria, and Charlie are having a sunrise chat. And Maria brings up that Q wants to work with them as a number. Kenzie still wants to get Tiffany out and build out her Survivor resume. We then get to see one of the wildest reward challenges seen in the new era. The challenge itself consists of an obstacle course, collecting sandbags, and then landing them on a tall pole. The reward will be none other than Applebees. Liz, prior to the challenge starting, reveals that that's her Wednesday night ritual with her daughter to go to Applebees. And Jeff keeps enticing them with how much food they would have, and everyone is salivating. The challenge starts and Q takes a quick lead with Tiffany close behind. Q is the first to the pole with his sandbag, and again with Tiffany close behind, and Tiffany actually almost lands her sandbag on the first shot, but it bounces off. Everyone else makes it to the poles, and it's clearly a struggle to get the bags to land, but after many attempts, Q is able to land his sandbag, securing the Applebee's reward. And this is where it gets spicy. As with most big food rewards, Jeff tells Q that he can choose someone to take with him. So he firstly chooses Tiff, remarking that it's to apologize for their fight. Liz starts to beg because she desperately wants food. But Q decides to go with Maria for his second choice because she checked in on him the previous night after Tribal Council. Liz then starts to cry, making it apparent that she really wants to go. Jeff then tells Q to pick one last person, and Q states that he feels bad for Liz not being able to eat, but chooses Kenzie. Liz cries more. Jeff asks her if she wants to talk about it, and she explodes. She talks about how pissed she is, how she watches him eat every single day, how he blew up her whole game, and it's a very distressing moment. The Applebee's crew head off to the sanctuary, and the rest of the tribe head back to camp. At camp, we see Liz thanking everyone for letting her have her moment. Ben also gets an aside on how he sees Q playing from the bottom with his choices on who to take to the sanctuary. Liz also tries to make fire and starts to cry again, talking about how her history of food insecurity and on how Applebee's is such a deep connection to her daughter. At the sanctuary, they all talk about how hard it was to see Liz crying like that. Q wants to rekindle his game with Yanu and Maria, but Kenzie and Tiffany can see through Q's BS and don't buy it for a minute. They all said that in front of Maria, who says she still kind of trusts Q, but maybe it's his time to go for rubbing so many people the wrong way. It's the next morning, and Charlie, Liz, and Ben are watching the sunrise as the sanctuary crew rolls up. They quickly start to talk about how much they ate and included how they didn't even eat the burger that happened to be Liz's favorite. Liz then takes a moment to apologize to Q, but then in a confessional, we see her say that she's lying because she really wants him gone. Maria and Charlie then pull aside from the tribe to talk about the next vote. They decide that the Tiffany blindside is still on the table, but they're very nervous about her playing her idol. For the immunity challenge, each castaway must hold 25% of their body weight in a bucket attached to a rope on a handle, and if they drop it, they're out. Jeff starts with a rice negotiation, saying that if 4 people sit out, they'll have enough rice to last them through the end of the game. When only Liz and Kenzie step forward, Jeff then offers if one person sits, they'll get an individual portion of rice. So Liz sits and gets to eat. The challenge starts, and quickly Venus and Ben get knocked out. Venus and Ben then sit on the sideline, manifesting Q to drop his bucket, and he does, followed by Kenzie and Maria. This then becomes a showdown between Charlie and Tiffany, where Charlie is starting to struggle and Tiffany is just locked in and not moving. Tiffany suddenly and without warning drops her bucket, and Charlie secures his second individual immunity in a row. After the immunity challenge, Tiffany wants Q gone and sees it as an easy vote to get him out. Kenzie and Maria are seen talking where Kenzie doesn't think it's the right time to blindside Tiffany, but Maria wants to run the red light and go forward with it. Maria approaches Q and decides that they're going to try to blindside Tiffany. With Charlie and Ben on board, they also decide that they're not going to tell Kenzie. Maria then talks to Liz and somehow convinces her to work with Q to help get Tiffany out. She considers it, but isn't sure what to do. At Tribal, Jeff starts with asking about the dynamics of the tribe, and even states that maybe Q is just a consistent smokescreen for the actual vote. Everyone is fairly forward about how the vote is going, Q that night, so they decide to vote. When Jeff asks if anybody would like to play their idol, Tiff stays seated and Jeff starts to read the votes. He starts with 3 votes for Q and then 5 votes for Tiffany, and we have yet another blindside, making Tiffany the 4th member of the jury. So is every member of the jury going to get blindsided? Because if so, I can only imagine how this final tribal council is going to be, because I don't see everybody taking a blindside so easily. But until then, be sure to like, subscribe, and tune in next week for another recap of Survivor.